Hello, everyone. This is Holly. Waiting for some members today. Talking today about school lunches, healthy food choices. What's it like in your country, and what's it like here in the US? It varies, but I have an article I shared. And if you visit loop.com, you can find an article and comment added class. Sign up to join loop.com. Sign in. Join the fun practicing English. We speak. We write. We read. We share tips, goals, cultural English. Live classes. You can join 24/7. There's Gerard.
Hello?
Can you hear? Yes, okay. Can you hear me? No, I hear you.
Okay, I hear you.
Okay. So welcome. I hope Fidato will join us soon. She's trying, but her first hangout, so I'm not sure if she'll get her way here. And Almer, I hope will join us. Maybe Maria. I'm never sure who will show up. Is the sound different today? Are you having
Yeah.
trouble hearing?
No, I can hear you, but it's not very, very clear. But I can hear you.
Huh. I don't know why it would be different today, but
But
so I moved to a. Go ahead.
it's understandable. I mean, sometimes it's better.
I know with Hangouts I have to be careful not to talk while I'm typing, and I sometimes forget. I know that that can cause interruptions. So I think you've seen the article that I mentioned. We didn't get to talk about it during class yesterday, but article.
I read it.
And wondering if you have any idea what is served in your area.
In
What a
school?
healthy meal is. Do they
Uh,
serve lunches?
yes, in a school. Yes, we follow here the Mediterranean diet. So
Even in school
salad,
lunches?
yes. Actually,
Nice.
lunch in Spain, lunch is the most important meal of the day. So lots of people go to eat at home in the middle of the day. I know in the United States only have 1 hour of break, but here is longer,
If
1 hour and a half.
you're lucky, many 21 minutes, sometimes 22 minutes. Most lunch period is less than half an hour, and that includes your time getting to the cafeteria and back to class after. Not long enough. It's very rush schools. And many workplaces, you have 30 minutes rather than 1 hour. Many times only 30 minutes.
Mhm.
So very different experience. Do the schools stop classes at the same time for 2 hours for everyone, or are there different times for different grade levels?
No, I think they are stopped for 2 hours.
Ah, so that's also different.
Mhm.
In the United States, here comes Fadato. Yay! Hello, Fadato, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes, there she is. Hello.
Oh, hi. Hello, Miss Oli. How are you?
I'm fine. Glad to have you joining us here. Your voice is soft for me, the volume.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm trying to make it louder.
And this is your first hangout?
With you?
Ever? Any hangout? Have you used Hangouts before?
Yeah, I have attended hangouts before. Yeah, I've attended.
There's a chat space. I don't know if you can see our chat space. And so far, the three of us, Gerard and yourself and I. And did you see the article that we're hoping to talk about?
Yeah, I see it, but I couldn't read the whole articles. It's about
Hmm.
teaching or
And that's fine. Yeah. Gerard was telling me that in Spain, the midday meal is is the most important meal of the day.
okay.
And so the whole school stops classes for 2 hours, and teachers and students have a long break. In the US, it's very different. Can you remind us where you're living now? Do you know what it's like in the schools there?
Are you asking me to remind about my city?
Right, in schools?
Yeah, I think in school, I used to have some street foods.
And when lunches are served
Uh,
in school,
oh, well, lunches. I think it's about 1 or 1.5 p.m. Yeah, half one
okay,
and
so 1 p.m. or 1:30
1
p.m.
1:30 p.m. Yeah, like that.
So 1:30 for 1.5. And do you get an hour and a half break, a 90-minute
No,
lunch?
it was not an hour. I think it was just half an hour.
Lunch,
Yes.
somewhere around there. So closer, perhaps, to the U.S. And
Yes.
does the school, for both of you, does the school cook lunches or have lunches delivered, or do students have to bring their own lunch?
No, they didn't used to, prepare the lunch for us. We had to carry our own lunch box, or sometimes our parents used to just bring them into our schools. So in the break time, we used to just take them from our parents.
So parents could deliver them?
Yeah, or sometimes our parents just go into the break time and just give us the lunch box. They used to work
Interesting.
hard
And
for us.
Gerard? Oh,
The
mm,
school prepares the lunches, and you know there is a big crisis here. So poor people, poor children, they have the right to eat for free. Yes, for poor people is very important.
So they prepare lunch for everyone, teachers and students, or can you bring your own lunch if you want to?
I'm not sure. I guess so. But
Okay.
teachers, I think that they go to eat at home, at their home. Everybody that can go home
Uh-huh.
goes home.
Hmm. Wow, that's
So
very different. Mm. Go ahead.
some students come from outside, especially high school, come from small villages around the town, and they take lunch in the school. But people that can go home goes home, who go home to eat.
Very interesting. Ah, mm.
Gerard, can you just speak louder? I can't hear you clearly. And also, Miss Holly, I also can't hear you louder. So I
So
think,
it might be your settings, Fidato, because I hear the sound fine. So it
really,
might be a setting on your computer.
yeah, perhaps, just, a problem
Hmm.
from my side.
I'll
Yeah.
try, but
Fidato's volume is slow for me.
Yeah, my volume is low.
So
No, I think my connection is not,
yeah, it
good
might
there.
be that the connection is not quite
Yeah,
strong enough for a clear. This is the challenge with Google Hangouts. I love them when they work well, but if your connection is not strong enough, we often have challenges. So things very different from school to school, country to country. Um, if parents here try to bring lunches to their children every day, oh, they would be highly displeased. The office would be highly displeased. They would not want that kind of interruption. And here, for safety's sake, you have to be fingerprinted and approved, cleared before you're allowed in the main hallway. Otherwise, if you're a visitor, you go directly to the office and only to the office and then exit again. You need a visitor's pass and paperwork and documentation. So parents bringing lunches would just not happen in almost every school in the U.S. today. Sad.
no, yeah. So, Miss Holly, in your country, the parents they didn't they don't bring the lunch boxes for their children in school.
Well, they pack them early, and the students bring their lunch with them in the morning. Many people pack their children's lunches, but we use, if you want to try to keep food warm or cold,
Yeah.
you use some sort of thermos or ice pack, and your children have to bring all of that to school with them and bring it home each night.
No, sometimes we also just used to pack them, early in the morning and just take them with us. But if we just miss them, then our parents used to, bring it for us.
Mm. And what kinds of things would be packed?
What kind of things? Actually, I think as I like, actually sometimes our parents used to send us the rice with some curries. Yeah, some rice with some curries, and sometimes actually hot pot. I'm just writing it down. And sometimes we used to have bread.
Hot pot, hodgepodge, I don't know. Hot pot, I've heard of. Hodgepodge is, I'm not, but I don't know hodgepodge. Maybe it is a type of food. I don't know this word. Hodgepodge is a mixture.
Bread, yeah, it's really common in our country and also in India. You know, the mix of the rice, pulse, and some vegetables, they all together are cooked in one uh, fry pan.
Maybe hodgepodge rather than hotchpotch.
Yeah, maybe I have. Yeah, maybe I have written it incorrectly. Sorry for that.
Yeah, no, that's not a problem. Sometimes it is spelled differently as a recipe, as a way to identify it. So I'll look it up after class. Gerard, do students ever bring rice or very often bring rice
Not
in
really.
Spain?
Actually,
Here either.
parents don't bring the food in the at lunchtime because if they have time, we have plenty of time to pick up the children and they go to eat at home. So
Right, okay.
people that eat in school are the children that are from outside, or their parents work and they cannot pick up the children in the middle of the day.
So is rice a common food?
Yes, it is. Rice, potatoes, pasta, vegetables. Yes.
In the U.S., we have such a diversity of people that it certainly varies from house to house to house. But rice is not an everyday staple here like it is in many countries for most families. Many people are trying to eat healthier here now, so more rice is sold and I presume is cooked and eaten. We have it 2 or 3 times a week sometimes, but we also go for a week or two without rice here in our house sometimes too. These are quite different. In the U.S., school lunches are, in most schools, notoriously terrible, unpalatable, and there's so much waste. The lunches are served on a tray in many schools and often go 90% in the garbage. Sad. It's improving in many schools, and the article talks about schools in my immediate area. But the quality of food, because it's purchased in bulk, in large quantities, is often not so great. And often it's pre-packaged and not the nicest quality, tastiest food. Many international families who come to the U.S. and enroll their children in schools, cafeteria, lunchtime is often a traumatic experience for children. That's also improved greatly in the last 10 or 15 years because more and more and more students are enrolled in schools. But the fun of watching lunches being prepared, uh, uh, being opened as students are in the cafeteria and seeing all of the different foods people pack is something I enjoyed as a teacher in the school. I hope Fidato will join us again. Experience quite different. You went home most days for lunch?
Yes, I went home. I'm wondering what those lunches consist of in the United States, those horrible lunches.
My memories from my last job working in a local school here were potatoes that were sort of like the horrible things that McDonald's sells that I guess Teacher Lee actually likes, but I don't. Fried, grated potatoes. Those are off this big square, rectangle or square of what they called potatoes that tasted like old grease. And I remember lots of thin, so you'd get overcooked macaroni with thin tomato sauce, no flavor, salty, very salty foods. And the apples, I'd always try for fresh fruit, but the apples would be really small and soft and yeah, not pleasant memories. And canned corn and canned peas, lukewarm. Not very nice. And breakfast would be prepackaged, boxes of different cereals, cartons of milk, and little muffins or pastry of some kind in a cellophane wrapper. And that was really hard for me as breakfast because breakfast is your start to the day, is your nourishment and nurturing, and having this impersonal plastic wrapped stuff thrown on a tray and thrust at you just felt so sad. It was just such a sad start. I used to try to sit down with kids and try and give them some happy thoughts in the early morning, but so impersonal, and food should be nourishment and nurturing, and school lunches have never been that, except in college. In college, I loved our cafeteria, but in our public school system, I have yet to see a pleasant lunch or breakfast experience. Do children, do very many children take a bus to school in Spain?
Some of them, but most of them go to their school walking, or maybe their parents bring them to school.
Because part of the challenge with eating at home would be the time. Many children here have a 45-minute bus ride one way to and from school. Others are less, 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, but the cost of busing is impossible to send kids home and back from lunch. So it's not common for children to leave, not allowed in most schools to the school. They don't like students or teachers to leave the building during the school day. I wish we had more people here sharing what it's like, what's the same, what's different in other countries. I've seen photos, and there are books published researching this, but things change so fast anymore. I'm curious about others' experiences.
So, what's the difference between what you eat at home and what is served in schools?
Excellent question. How would you answer that?
I mean, the logical thing should be that the diet you usually follow, Americans follow, should be the same in schools. So here in Spain, more or less, we follow a diet, and this diet is the one that is followed in the school. So, for instance, in my workplace, we have our lunches and meals made inside our campground.
Really?
Yes, because there are plenty of workers in the summer.
And what types of food? Is it similar to what you might eat at home?
Yes, we can choose. We have several things. We start lunch with salad, with tomato, lettuce, onion, carrots, and many things.
And then quality?
Yes, the quality is pretty good.
Wow. Wow.
For dessert, we have fruit and dairy products.
Wow. I have only once ever seen food served at a school cafeteria that was anything close to what I would be served at home or what I would send to our daughter. Only once ever. Difference, huge difference in. But I do know had friends, and here's Fidato again, yay, had friends who liked school lunches better. So the, oh, and Atia is here too. Hello. Some friends had parents who were very busy or didn't know how to cook very well, and so at home they would have cheap white bread and peanut butter and cheap jelly. Grape jelly was common everyday lunch for many students. Probably still is, although peanut butter is much more expensive now than it used to be. So cheap bologna and bread, as many sandwiches as you want, is lunch for many in the U.S. and many adults. That's their choice. And she did find Hutch. It is hodgepodge. Excellent. Thank you. I told you, correct? So it is a dish, and like a hodgepodge, so it's a takeoff from the English word hodgepodge, which is a mixture. I see some of you are using the Google effects and want to try and take photos of our class. So all kinds of extra features on Hangouts that can be used. I usually just enjoy the chat. Sometimes when we use the extra features, it keeps people out of the Hangout. So when connections are not strong, I try not to effect. But hodgepodge has this word description of hodgepodge, except that hodgepodge can apply to everything, and hotchpotch applies only to a rice dish. So Gerard was talking about salads served in cafeterias, and it's very hard to get nice quality salad in a school lunch. Usually the lettuce is wilted or browned or both, and the tomatoes are not very fresh. Usually they're not ripe. And hello Atia, I hope you can hear me, hear us. And you're welcome to say hello.
I think he's facing the same problem. I can't hear. Yeah, I can hear you, Mr.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear
you. All right,
you.
your voice is still soft, but I can hear you. I don't hear Atia yet.
What is the meaning of wilted?
Wilted, soft. When you have lettuce, it's usually crisp, or it's supposed to be crisp. Wilted is the opposite, soft and limpy.
Oh, soft and...
Yeah, so limp or limpy, not...
Limpy.
So limp is weak, unable to stand by itself. So if you have a piece of lettuce that is usually, try and show this here, usually curved, if you put it on a plate, if it's wilted, it will be flat and wilty and not pleasant to eat. It won't be able to hold its shape of crispness. And Gerard?
Why is that? Are those vegetables grown on your country, on your zone, around your place?
Sometimes, often they are shipped in. Often the reason they're limp is because they're put out on a plate 2 or 3 or 4 hours before they're served. So they don't stay fresh. They're not served fresh. They're served, and put on trays, and trays are piled up, and then they're just pulled out and thrown at the students.
Okay.
Lunches in most schools are not pleasant experiences.
So in my workplace, I can choose the amount, the quantity of lettuce, tomato individually, and it's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
It's not prepared all
Some
together.
schools are doing this now. Mm-hmm. I really want to visit several schools because the news tells us that many schools have improved. My teacher friends and their children tell me that it has not improved, but I'm curious to see. And it's been 3 or 4 years since I've been in a local school.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in your country, do you think every school provide the healthy foods uh, for the children and the kids?
By government definitions, yes, but our problem is the example I use the most often is that, gosh, it's been a long time ago now, 22 or 25 years ago, I worked for the nutritional office. I was an assistant in the nutrition office, and the small packets of ketchup that come at fast food places,
Yes.
the small packets of ketchup were considered one vegetable.
Considered one vegetable.
Yes, and you had to serve students 2 vegetables at lunch. So a packet of ketchup fried potatoes would be 2 vegetables. No. but yes, by government policy. So individual schools try hard. And here's someone else joining us, Sandeep. Hello.
Hey, hi Holly.
Yes,
Hello
welcome.
again.
Thank you very much, and wish you a happy new year to you all.
Thank you.
And to you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, so many schools will try to serve healthier lunches, but many schools are suffering with budgets and budget cuts, and so many schools have really sad offerings for their kids. It's food, but not very nutritious, not pleasant. Most of the time they are not pleasant meals. It's changing. It's getting better.
It's getting better. What is the percentage of them were providing the nutritional foods for the children of the students?
Again, the statistics will tell you 100% because a school is closed if it is not providing. It will get no tax dollars. So any public school, the children have the access to full nutritional value of daily needs. But it's not, might not look good or taste good or be fresh, but it does meet the daily requirements. And in some cafeterias, the students can choose what to take. So a student only take and nothing else. Or a student might take extra portions of what he or she likes, not eat a balanced meal.
So actually, the problem is that in every country, we have some rules and regulation about providing the food in a nutritional way. But actually most of the institution they doesn't follow them. That's the problem. That's why
Mm.
I asked the question to you. You know that what is the situation in your
So,
country?
so they may not comply with the regulations. And
My
what
country,
I forget. I'm sorry, I forget what country you are in.
I'm in Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. Okay.
Yes, I'm in
And
Bangladesh.
in Bangladesh, some of the schools or institutions might not follow the rules.
Yeah, some of the institutional organizations they didn't follow the rules. Sometimes they bring some fast foods, some oily foods, which is really harmful for our health.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yes, that's my biggest complaint with much of the food here is it's greasy, oily.
Ah,
Hey, Atia with a
Hello, Polly.
webcam. Hello.
How are you
Yes.
doing?
Well,
Happy New Year.
this time we hear you. Happy New Year.
Uh,
Yeah.
thank you. You too, inshallah. How are you doing?
Doing
Hello.
How are
well. I'm
you?
always happy to see
I'm
more
fine, and
people
I'm so
joining.
happy to contact you today.
Yeah, glad to see you. Yeah.
Mm,
uh,
you. Mm,
and Sandeep has turned his mic off, but I hope he'll try to say hello again too.
yeah,
We're
thank you.
we're talking
Thanks.
about school lunches.
School
School
uh,
lunches. Can you see our
lunches.
text chat?
Yeah, school lunches.
Uh,
So,
so
the popular food of each country, of each, like this.
yes.
Huh? Yeah. Very good. It's a very good subject. I like these subjects.
You like food. Huh?
Yes.
bureaucracy, bureaucratic.
So each country has many popular food, I think. So like Algeria has many foods. For example, the most or the important popular food here in Algeria, for example, shakshuka. Did you heard about
Shashraba.
shakshuka? Did you have
Shashuka.
information on about it or no? Yeah, shakshuka. I will write it.
Tell us more, please.
Yeah, shakshuka
Shakshuka.
is
Shakshuka.
yeah, shakshuka
Mm.
is a popular food.
And describe it for us,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, it's like most Algerians eat this popular food and like it, like couscous.
Couscous. Okay, couscous I know.
Yeah, like
And I like.
couscous and
Yeah.
shakshuka are a popular food. Yes,
Okay.
are the same, but
Mm.
are not same in the cooking. For example,
Okay.
uh, each one cook it in his habit or in his art.
Okay. So you
Yes.
learn which of your friends' parents make the best shakshuka.
Yeah. Thank you. Shakshuka. Shakshuka, not shakshuka. Shakshuka.
My pronunciation is
Yes. It's a
terrible.
popular food. When you visit Algeria,
uh,
I will cook it by my for
excellent.
you, inshallah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yes. Is
All right.
shakshuka is one of most popular food in Algeria. Yeah,
Mm.
like other food in other countries. For example, in USA, the popular food, what is it?
That's a good question, but Gerard wanted to ask a question, so I'll let him
Yeah,
talk next.
okay.
Yes. Um, I'm wondering what's the difference between eating lunch at home and in the cafeteria. Do you eat the same
Yeah,
things? Would you eat the same things than at home than in a cafeteria in America?
what is different
We're still
between
still
cafeteria food
asking
and
about
home
here. So in the U.S.,
food?
for
Good.
some children, similar. For me, very different. I eat healthier than many of my. It's changing. It is changing. More people are trying to eat healthier, and so more cafeterias are trying to offer healthier choices. The biggest difference would be quality. Um, Many times I can find salad home or salad at a cafeteria, but I don't always trust the salad at a cafeteria. Apples will not be as fresh. Um, Vegetables will be overcooked at the cafeteria. Mm, More deep fried foods at the cafeteria. So it varies. It varies a lot, but quality would be the biggest difference. Sandwiches are still definitely the most common lunch. And Atia has a question. Excuse me, I think Fidato had a question first. Sorry. Fidato.
Okay.
Yeah, in your given articles, I found a terms, bureaucratic obstacles. I'm just looking into it. Can you just explain it?
mm, um,
Bureaucratic.
Bureaucratic obstacles. Trying to follow what the government tells us we must do.
Huh?
So the schools work by contracts,
Hmm.
and you have to order your food from the suppliers the contract stipulates.
Okay.
Whoever the contract says you must from here, you must quantity. So you can't buy just this much, you must buy this much. And if you buy it, you want to serve it. So sometimes the students get the same food 3 or 4 days in a row, or you have to buy your apples. Apples are a good example. Apples, you have to buy huge cartons of apples, and you get them once a month. So the first week, the apples might be okay, but by the end of the month, some of the apples are rotten, some are soft, most are soft and not fresh, but you have to use those apples because the government says so. That is a bureaucratic obstacle. You might live in an area where fresh apples are grown, where fresh apples are right there outside the school door, but you cannot buy those apples and serve them. You have to serve the old, mushy, soft, disgusting apples because the government says so.
But
Hmm.
how could the government just say like this? Even the apples is, bad,
To answer that
or it cannot be eaten. And how
one.
how the government?
I,
I don't
I
understand.
think they should make all the government officials eat school lunches. and at the end of a month. And then maybe things would get better. But that's an example of bureaucratic obstacles. Money. Money and politics. Not usually a good mix. Yeah. Question, and then Gerard wants to talk again.
Yes, Holly, thank you for your time. I saw on the street many people food in the fast food. Yeah, is it the fast food? Is it healthy or not healthy? Yes,
Not.
fast food. Is it healthy or no?
uh,
Yeah, in
uh,
your opinion.
yeah.
In your opinion.
Not healthy. Not
Why?
healthy. But healthier. Many times healthier. Because consumers are asking for healthier choices. But processed food and deep fried is not healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Fresh is healthier, and unfried, not fried, is healthier.
Healthy, yeah.
Yes, it's about the apples. I don't understand the problem with the apples because in Spain we pick up the apples in fall and then we kept them in refrigerators and you can eat all year long. So the problem must be that you don't have refrigerators. You don't have freezers.
Not for the apples.
Okay.
Not enough space in most schools for the apples. Yes, storage challenges, but also for some districts, the apples go in one huge building, a warehouse, and then once a week boxes are taken to all of the schools in one district, and you have to serve from that box whatever you get. And some places better than others. My father grew up on an apple farm, so I learned about apple farming from him. And you have to sort those apples and take out the bad apples. One bad apple can make several apples be less fresh quickly. So if they go in one big warehouse in September and then they're not sorted and you're serving those apples for October, November, December, they get worse and worse and worse. And if a school does not follow the contract, then they lose money. They can't afford to serve even a full meal to students. So it's a catch-22 situation where you need to follow the government contract in order to keep school open, to get money. And if you don't follow the contract, then you can't afford to keep the school open and public. So the government keeps our hands tied. That is an expression.
Which one? Which one is an expression?
Keeps our hands tied. If you imagine someone tying your hands together so you can't do anything, the government keeps us trapped. If school, and we do want to offer school to our children, then we have to follow the government's policy, whether we like it or not.
I'm bewildered.
Of our yeah, of our country or of our situation.
Different there?
Sorry,
Different for Gerard. Is it different in Bangladesh?
no. Which one is different for? I didn't understand.
Um,
Different in Bangladesh.
Government obstacles? Bureaucratic obstacles?
No, they are still alive in my country. They are not removed. The same situation is going on here.
Yeah, so I think most governments have rules that make no sense. I think that's part of the challenge of most governments. Good intentions, maybe.
Actually, in my country, we had the rules and regulation, but there is no implementation of all of them, of all them. Yeah,
Mm.
there's the implementation. That's the problem in my country, and most of the people just feel the same way. So our
So,
government needs to be really more strict
mm,
and more, you know, uh, more hard, so that every people just follow the rules and regulation for every sources.
we don't want to follow the rules. We want to go out and offer to our students. Uh,
Like, yeah, there are also inspection, and sometimes there are some inspections that like the government people, they just travel in somewhere suddenly. I don't find the term what is called. Sometimes just go into some cafe or restaurant and just check it that how the food are provided there. Is it
mm,
nutritional or not? They're using the poisonous thing. So sometimes if they found something wrong with them, they just rate them. Sometimes we saw that.
yes, health inspectors
Yeah, health
also
inspector.
visit our school cafeterias and our restaurants, and no one likes the health inspections or their reports usually. Question, I think, and Gerard maybe wanted to talk again.
Yeah.
Uh, Atia, a question?
You. Good. I have a question. Which kind of food you like? Cold or hot food? In your opinion,
Ah,
in this weather
so in general.
for
Okay, in general, during the colder
yes.
one, you can type or take a turn speaking. Oh, we lost Sandy again. I think he's having connection troubles. Um, so I prefer warmer and hot foods, room temperature or hot foods during the winter for all meals. But I do eat sandwiches probably 3 or 4 days of the week. Not always hot, but I usually have hot with the sandwich. So that's my answer. What about you and everyone else?
Uh, do you
Yes.
have a vegetable sandwich or
For
chicken?
in my
Which?
Okay, so Fedato's trying to talk, so we'll go Fedato, and then Gerard, and then Atia, and then Sandeep if he comes back. So Fedato again, please.
Yes.
So I was asking, you take sandwiches. Do you prefer vegetable sandwich or beef or chicken? Which one?
That sounds wonderful. Dates. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading Atia's note. I love cheese. So my sandwiches, my favorite sandwich probably is a crazy one. Make it
Yeah.
home the most
Cheese
probably
and
is cheese and pickles and a little bit of mayo. My crazy favorite sandwich. I love cheese. Too much. I love cheese. I don't eat meat sandwiches very often. If I've made a roast the night before, I might have sliced chicken from my home roasted chicken in a sandwich, but I don't usually have meat sandwiches. In the summer, when we have fresh vegetables, I love sandwiches with lettuce and peppers and cucumbers and everything, zucchini, squash, every kind of fresh vegetable. Makes a nice sandwich, but I'd rather have a salad. So soup and salad for me. Yeah. I see Atia's note about dates.
Good.
Dates are very
And
expensive in the
milk.
U.S.
And milk, yeah,
And milk.
is a perfect food. Yeah, I wish to send for you just a bowl of date fruit.
And are the dates served cold or hot?
I know, I know. Date fruit, 999. Yeah, we have in other word, we have 999 kind of
Wow.
date fruit.
Okay. I'm noticing that our hours give Gerard a chance to talk, and then we'll close up. Gerard, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you who prepares the meals in those cafeterias, because in Spain, in schools, they are prepared for catering companies. So we don't have another thing. I don't understand this problem of buying all the vegetables for a month and not having refrigerators. That doesn't have any sense to me.
And it's not the same everywhere. It varies, but the school employees are all government officials, all government employees. So who prepares it are sometimes parents of some of the children in school, but they must follow government recipes, and it's very controlled. So you can go to any school in any district in a county or state and get the same meal. You don't get home-cooked flavors, home-cooked recipes. You have to follow, in most districts, you have to follow exact recipes. And they are checked and inspected. So you're not allowed to make it better. You have to do what they tell you, or you lose your lifelong health benefits and job and government. Welcome to the USA.
The most advanced country.
And as I said, good intentions, but sad results most places.
Indeed, Master.
As I also said, I've been told it is getting better, but I haven't seen or heard yet, except by the government, whom I do not trust what they say exactly. uh, so we have 999 types of dates that Holly doesn't get
Yes.
to taste. I must come to Algeria. I think that may have to be a destination soon. The photos of the markets where you can just buy fresh dates everywhere sounds wonderful. And Fidato, sandwiches, cafe or restaurants. Okay, so it's easy for you to find a cafe or restaurant to enjoy. Yeah.
Yes,
Huh.
absolutely.
Different from place to place, and I'm glad we had a few folks join to give us some different perspectives. Thank you very much for coming today, and I hope you'll join future Hangouts. But I'm going to say goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Good day.